Hello and welcome. I decided to film my self-drafting the new set, Ether Refold. You get 2 packs of Ether Refold and then a third pack Kaladesh. Thought I might learn from seeing myself drafting, seeing things I might have missed during the draft itself, and why not provide some commentary for people who want to watch it. As you can see, I opened the Free Gem Regent that's rare in this pack. It's a pretty good creature. It's 4/4 flyer with improvise for 4 and 2 red, and for 1 general and a red mana you can give it fire breathing for 2. The green uncommon there, it's like a mini Geoke. It's a 5/5 for 3 general and 2 green. Gives all your other creatures a +1/+1 counter. A pretty good one, but I stuck it with the region. In the next pack, there's some good removal in red here. As you can see, I moved it to the front. The Hungry Flames, instant speed, 3 damage on the creature, and 2 to opponent. So yeah. As I first picked the Free Gem Regent, it has improvise, so I can cast it for cheaper. It's already a pretty good one. Pretty good card, as you can see. 4 red for 4/4 flyer. Even if you can cast it for 1 cheaper with improvise, or yeah, if you don't get any discount on the casting cost, it's a pretty okay creature, and every time you can cast it for 1 cheaper, it gets much more better. So I'll probably be on the lookout for artifacts to enable the improvise. But yeah, it takes a while to get the third pack here. People are still pretty new to this set, so they're taking the time. This can happen at drafts, and I don't blame people. Especially, I always love it when new players come to a draft. It does take a little bit longer to draft, but it's just fun to see how new players find their way and sometimes get the most janky decks out there, but still manage to win, and that's so awesome to see. So yeah, during the pre-release, I haven't really built an improvise deck. The most packs during pre-release you just get packs, so you can't really focus on the mechanic or some synergy, so you generally just draft the good cards. Third pack here, there's some. I moved the Gremlin Infestation to the front together with the Frontline Rebel. Pretty good red cards. Frontline Rebel, I'm not really too sure about that, but it's a 3/3 for 3 that has to attack every turn, and if you have vehicles you can prevent it from attacking it to set. But I took the Gremlin Infestation here because during the pre-release I noticed almost everyone plays artifacts in the deck, though maybe not in draft, but 2 damage every turn is pretty nice, and getting 2/2 back for it, possibly. So in this pack, I already, as I could see, try to move in white by moving the Renegade Wheelsmith and Gearper Osprey to the front. I chose for the Gearsmith. It's a bit early to pick a gold card, but it's a pretty good card, the Gearsmith, because it's pretty. Yeah, people don't really expect not able to block. It's a good card. Yeah, here I received for my feeling, pretty late array. The white Artifice is also pretty good. Though the colors I've drafted, red white, is pretty aggressive, so my pick for my pacification array pick here is a bit weird because it's a pretty defensive card, and but it does enable improvise, and it's a pretty cheap one too, so that I weighed that in. Though I already had the dragon, which is pretty expensive, so I don't really want to reserve 2 mana to tap my opponent's creatures down, so that's a pretty difficult choice to make during the games, to decide whether to tap your opponent's creatures down or cast some new things to put on a board. So that's the thing you have to weigh out during the game itself, which I had to do in later games. Too bad I didn't record any of my games, so you can't see how to play it. So the next pack. There's some pretty good red and white cards. There's also the night market thingy in the third card here. I really like the green implement, by the way, but I'm not in green, so I don't really have use for it. I was doubting here between a pretty good 2-drop and a 4-drop, possibly 3-drop if I can enable improvise. It's a 3/3 menace creature, pretty good. But I did see people often passing this around, so I was expecting it to wheel. Oh yeah, by the way, we're in a 10 people pod, so you don't expect things to. I went for the 2-drop here because I did one, and as I hoped, it was wheel. I moved the alley evasion here to the front because it's a pretty good way to protect your creatures, either by bouncing them or making them slightly bigger. But I was thinking about maybe also going into green with the outland board there. I move, but in the end I picked the eagle, because I do have some. I could pick some small creatures, and by the time I play the eagle, I have a board full of maybe 3 creatures to give +1/+1 vigilance to, which is a pretty good move at that time in the game, like on turn 5, turn 6, attack with everything, and they can stay back to and they can also stay back to defend, putting some pressure on the opponent. Okay, in the next pack I moved the evasion to the front. I also moved the automaton to the front because it's a pretty good late game card, good mana sink, and it also enables improvise. So kind of doubting about between it, but it's also a presence on the board, so it's good. I don't really expect to use its ability because red-white is a pretty aggro color, pretty fast, so I'm not sure if I get to the late game, but trying to enable the free gem regent, sorting the cards here. This is pretty casual. It's just an FNM, so we aren't really strict. So I often look to my cards after a while to figure out my curve. By the way, yeah. Counting out the cards. Here, at this moment, I realize my first pack still hasn't wheeled, so there's still new cards coming in that I haven't seen yet from other players. Oh, here. There's a Prey Upon in this pack, but I'm not in green, so moving a 4-drop to the front. So here I'm doubting between a trick. Oh yeah, I'm here checking out my curve, kind of how many non-creature spells I've got. So I took the 2/2 flying for 3 here. An okay 3-drop, like. It's slightly better than the Windrake because these are pretty aggressive colors, so you often get to attack with this. I'm moving the camera a little bit so my opponent to the right can't look too much in this. There isn't anything in my colors here, so I took the 3/1 for 3 that can block an additional creature. It's pretty okay aggressive card and also pretty good defensive card because it can block an additional creature. In a later game it turned out pretty useful because that one additional block opportunity to block really saved me one extra turn. But yeah, in the end I got defeated, but that doesn't really matter. And yeah, it's an artifact, so it enables improvise. So that's a plus. Spoiler alert, I never get to cast the free gem region when I need it. I only played in mine. There I took the 2/3 for 3 that can copy and target artifacts for 7 mana. Well, here I just implement really doesn't really do anything. Maybe draw a card and ping my opponent for one, so I took the large artifact creature. Maybe I could find some use for it. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the region. Yeah. Maybe if these are both blue cards, so I was really hard here. That's just my final pick. In the end, I took the Moray. Oh, and there I got the bouncing automaton for 4 general and 1 white, which turned out to be pretty useful. Spoiler alerts. Oh, yeah. This was a pretty nice pack. My rare in here was the Ether Geode Miner, which gets you and the Fatal Push as an uncommon slot. This was pretty hard. Like the double strike champion, Scrapper champion. It hits the field as a 2/2 for 3, but the next turn it gets to attack as a 3/3 double strike. It already has double strike, by the way. So it was pretty hard. It's really. I couldn't believe it wasn't uncommon, but in the end I took the rare here because it can protect itself, and it's a 2-drop, so if I can get it out turn 2, pretty good. Some good removal here. Not past the thing that taps down, but pretty good white removal. Caught in headlights. I don't really have any vehicles yet to make it excel anything, but it's just an arrest, which is pretty good too. Well, here I think I'm starting sorting by creature and non-creature and on mana cost. You can see. Yeah. Geo, some removal, yeah. Next pack, let's see. 2/1 first strike, move to the front, the fellow the Guardian. Pretty good defensive creature that blinks. Not a bouncing automaton. I forgot it. 2/1 first strike that provides energy. No, yeah, I'm doubting here again. The 2/1 first strike that provides energy is pretty good. It's a pretty good defensive card and an offensive card because it has first strike. And the 2 energy could provide me some extra buffer for the Ether Geode Miner. So I don't necessarily have to attack to gain that energy, and often people have a creature to block it with, so immediately have to spend the energy to blink it again. The miner, by the way, is a pretty good enabler for Revolt. Like it blinks almost every turn, so you can play anything Revolt after that. Another Eagle, but I don't. Oh yeah. This was focus. I moved the Aeronaut Admiral to the front because it's 3/1 flyer for 4. Doesn't really have impressive defense, impressive toughness, but a 3-power toughness flyer, the 3-power flyer for 4 is a pretty good card. And if I go into vehicles, which red-white often wants to, giving it flying is pretty good. I'm also tempted by the siege modification here, but I haven't picked any vehicles yet, so I'm not too sure about that. So I'd rather pick a body instead of a non-creature spell. Like, it's pretty. As you can see, I'm pretty much in red-white already. I wasn't really good at reading the table out whether any of the colors were open or not. But I got past a few pretty good ones. Like, when you open something like Siege Modification, it's always a dream to already have a good vehicle, like the Dino Train, the Rhino Train, the 4/4 that gets a counter every turn, every time it attacks. Or just Renegade Freighter from Kaladesh. It's all nice if something like that works out, but you shouldn't rely on that too much because, yeah, it's pretty small. This is a pretty interesting thing. Maybe Maverick Thopter is pretty nice. I moved the Ravenous Intruder to the front. This is okay 2-drop, and you can sack artifacts to pump it for a turn, but I don't really have a lot of artifacts yet, and I want to use my artifacts for improvise, so I don't really think that's a good thing. The Audacious Infiltrator, a 3-1 for 2, can be blocked by artifact creatures. Pretty good card. Really gone aggressive and high power, so I took that one. Yeah, this is a pretty weak pack, I think, so I'm doubting between the Wild Automaton and Conviction. Conviction is a good revolt enabler, but I don't really have a lot of revolt cards. And it gives your creatures +1/+3, which is a nice boost in toughness. I may also be needing 4 drops at this point, so that's why I moved the Crackdown Construct to the front. I do have some creatures with activated abilities, but those are pretty expensive. Like I'm going through here, the Aegis Automaton can bounce for 5. That's a 7 mana activated. Maybe the I took it for the 4-drop to fill up that slot. Well, let's see. I'm not too. I'm not really for the white ether cycle, the improviser. I'm not really that enthusiastic about. I in the end picked the 3/3 that has to attack every turn. Yeah, I took the Virgo because the rest of the pack doesn't really seem impressive. I'm not going to the green anymore, so the ball goes to the back. And I picked the Destructive Tampering here. Pretty nice modal card, like pretty good sideboard card. If your opponent has artifacts, you board it in. When your opponent has a lot of gunk on the ground, you can board it in, so you can attack past it. I'm also doubting here, like if I should pick the Filigree Crawler because it's another 4-drop. I might need. It's an artifact that can enable improvise, but in the end I took the Destroy Artifact. All creatures without flying can block. I'm sorting out through my cards here again, ordering them. Like, yeah, my pick here is about between the 2/2 flyer for 3 or the 5/4 vanilla creature for 5. I took the evasive creature here. Pretty good on it. And there's another Laughing guy. Yeah, I picked the artifact enchantment removal because you never know what your opponent might have. There's some pretty good artifacts and enchantment in the set if you didn't know that yet. So it's a good sideboard card. Yeah. So nothing interesting for me here. The white implement, the implement of improvement, isn't really that impressive to me. It's a bit of life gain and an extra card. I think I picked the Skyship Plunderer here just because, yeah, why not? If the cards all have no use to me, I just pick the best one out, and I'm not gonna add it to my deck anyways. Last 2 cards. The Turret, I don't really see any use for it, so I took another Aegis Automaton. Well, it's got Uncolor Precise Strike. Nice trick, nice combat trick. Gives you creatures +1/+0 on first strike. And until now I have picked pretty high power creatures, so that's a perfect card for my deck. So yeah, I did notice during the pre-release that the black-green counter, the +1/+1 counter deck is pretty good. Like, especially if you have the gold card of it, the snake that gives you an extra counter on any permanent you control as it enters the battlefield. Or when it's, when counters are added to a permanent or to a player. Not every permanent, by the way. It only works on creatures and artifacts. During pre-release I encountered someone who had a planeswalker together with the card, but luckily we figured it out on time before he played his Ajani. Anyways, yeah. So I was kind of worried about playing against the black-green decks, because those creatures can get pretty big pretty fast, and red-white doesn't really have anything against that. There's a lot of white removal that can hold that down, like the arrests and the stop the arrests and stuff like that. But the red, until now I've only oh no, wait. No, I did have some red removal, but those are all damage based, and as creatures get larger, it's getting more difficult to remove them. So yeah. On to the last pack of Kaladesh. Bowman Courier, not really useful to me. Fabrication module was pretty good. Like, it works pretty well with the Ether Geode Mine. Every time it attacks you gain energy, and every time you gain energy, the fabrication module allows you to put a +1/+1 counter on a creature. The rest of the red and white cards in this pack aren't really good. Could pick impeccable timing, but that again is damage-based removal. Yeah, at that time I wasn't really worried about that damage-based removal would do anything, but in the games of this evening I really noticed my opponent's creatures growing really quickly. So yeah, first pick, fabrication module. Ordering my cards a little bit, so I have a feel what my curve will be, and I'm already moving some cards out of the way, so I can already select my 23 cards I'm going to play. I'm probably going to play 23, maybe 22 if my curve is a bit higher than when I need the 18 lands. Red-white, you often, if you want to play anything different than 17 lands with red-whites, because it's an aggressive deck, you're probably going to play 16 lands and a little bit more creatures if your curve is low enough. But I already have the Regent, which is a pretty expensive card, so I'm not really willing to go to the less cards. I was really surprised by that. Why wouldn't anyone pick the Caravan? It's a nice mana rock and can become a 5/5 creature by crewing 3, so I picked that one. Other cards that really I noticed were the Malphite Doorbuster and the Giant, but picked the Caravan. I really like this card, Mariner Master. Too bad I'm not in black. I was really glad this Welding Sparks was in here. Pretty good removal, instant speed for 3. Merit Master really served me well in previous drafts. It's like a surprise yeah, it is really damage. It's losing life. Your opponent loses life. It's like when you can play it and you already have some service on the field, and you play the Merit Master and fabricate for +1/+1 counters, and in some way manage to sacrifice or kill your own servo, you instantly do 4. Your opponent instantly loses 4 life. Well, dubious challenge. I really have no idea what got into the minds when printing that card. I was looking at Start Your Engines. It looks like a fun card to me. It gives all your creatures +2/+0, and all your vehicles become artifact creatures. And I picked the Cultivated Caravan, and I had that 6/6 vehicle from from Ether Revolt. But most of the time the card does nothing. You need to have at least one vehicle on the board to do something, and some more other creatures. It does fit in an aggressive deck, but I kind of feel my deck isn't that aggressive as I want it to be, so I picked the Pioneer because it's a flying body which could make a server for Improvise, or just become a 3/2/5. This was a really good pack for green. Like, 2 premium, not premium, 2 Hunter Weak and Nature's Waste, really good removal cards, and artifact removals in here, and Imperial Voyager if you're in those colors, constant energy generator is pretty good. So and I kind of knew that that the player to the left of me was in green, so I knew he would be happy in this. I took the Ibex because again I wanted to fill that 4-drop slot a little bit, and was the other card in my color in the spec was the Giant Spectacle, and it's pretty okay in aura enchantment. Pumps up your creature and gives it menace. But I'd rather pick something with a body, and it also creates energy for me. It might have some uses. Nice pump spell there, larger than life. There's a pommel in here, which is interesting. Too bad I don't play any good pump spells for it, so I didn't. The Westweaver Angel blinks when it blinks a creature when it enters the battlefield. This is a 4/4 flyer for 6 mana, 4 general and 2 white, which is pretty good body on itself. I think I'm checking here if I have any use to enter the battlefield effects to get some extra value out of the Angel, but it's a clear pick. Maybe I don't really have a deck to support this Pommeler. I don't really make a lot of artifact creatures, so I should go for the Angel here. Pretty clear. Still looking in because I like every time I see the hologram, I'm always a little bit more attracted to that card. But shiny things are shiny. I don't know why it took so long to decide this here. Right. I do have some artifact creatures in here that could get pumped, but not a lot. Does also enable improvise. But I think I have to go for the big flyer because why not? There's another pommel in here, so that's pretty fun. Seeing the colors I'm in, I could have picked. I think here I made a wrong pick here because the giant got here. I should have picked the shield guard in the previous spec. It generates energy, pretty nice body, and can give attacking creatures indestructible. There's another giant in here, but I was really surprised by this. That there was another glint sleeve artisan in here. This one of the best white commons in color there. So yeah, and yeah, here are the last few cards. Just picked the 2-drop. Most of these cards probably won't make the deck anyway, so it doesn't really matter what I pick here. Most of the things I've already taken out. So yeah. I was really surprised by some of the cards that still went around at this time. Oh, big automaton. Wait, was it an automaton? Oh, I don't know. So there were some cards I didn't really get why they still went around or why they got passed, like the Caravan. During the time of the drafting itself, I felt pretty good about this deck. In the end, I went 1-2 with it, so it didn't perform that well. And then I didn't manage, as you can see, the player left to me drafted pretty good gold cards in his colors. Yeah, that's my draft. This is my draft for tonight. Yeah, thank you for watching.